PP&E, property, plant, and equipment. Let's talk about how we are going to enact procedures to help with our assertions. Well, we've got the account balance, transactions, and presentation and disclosure assertions. And we've got, for completeness, we're going to foot the fixed asset schedule to the general ledger, dealing with a little bit of tracing there. You also say trace the schedule of additions and disposals to the fixed asset schedule. All these documents, all these separate listings, make sure they tie out together. And just as a general rule, if any of you work in the industry, you know, just have a check on every single work paper you do, as many checks as possible, making sure everything ties out. Lastly, you could trace the fixed assets to the subledger. For valuation and allocation, you could recalculate the accumulated depreciation and evaluate any impairment, making sure that the PP&E machines, trucks are properly presented in their accurate value. To test the existence and occurrence, we're going to want to vouch additions in the subledger to purchase documents and making sure that we understand that vouching ties in with existence and occurrence. For rights and obligations, we're going to examine any invoices, deeds, and title documents, also board of directors meetings. There's going to be many options for a lot of these. Obviously, we're seeing them all throughout the entire lesson here, but there's just too many possible procedures you can do for all of these, so we mentioned some of the more important ones. Moving on to transactions. For completeness, we're going to trace requisitions to received reports and the subledger. And we want to review the repair and maintenance account, lease agreements. We want to see the repair and maintenance account if that ties in, right? That's going to be something to look at if the activity, the transactions are properly expensed or capitalized. That's something critically important, I would say. If it's a cost that adds to the value of the life of the asset, it should be capitalized. If it's just cleaning or something like that, that would be an expense. For cutoff, we want to review the fixed asset additions and disposals before and after year end for valuation, allocation, and accuracy. A great way to value these is to recalculate depreciation expense because, well, what is really the change? How can you increase the value of an asset is you are going to have a cost that you can capitalize. How would you decrease the value of an asset? You just have depreciation expense and you would subtract accumulated depreciation for that for your net book value. For existence and occurrence, we want to vouch purchases to receiving report and invoices. So we're going to take a purchase listing. We're going to see the accounting records to the receiving report and invoices. These are the original source documents. And for understandability and classification, we want to examine significant charges to repair and maintenance, making sure, again, the costs are properly classified between expensed and capitalized. For presentation and disclosure, we want to ensure that all of these disclosures are included, that we've read the footnotes and assess them for any material misstatements. And we want to compare to audit evidence to determine anything that occurred for existence and occurrence, making sure essentially we're vouching, right? We want to, for rights and obligations, inquire about loan agreements and board meeting minutes. Lastly, for understandability and classification, we want to read any required disclosures. Looking good, looking very good there.
Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.Examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.